Your army is your greatest asset in Shadow of War, and in order to improve your army's power, you will need to train and recruit stronger warriors. That's where the garrison is the most useful. So in this guide, I will be detailing how to use the garrison, as well as what are some good ways to improve your followers. But before all that, you should probably subscribe to stay up to date for all future videos and guides. It'll also help out the channel a lot. Without further ado, let's get into it. So, in order to access the garrison menus, you'll have to first click Start, and in the Pause menu, you will find the garrison. Simple enough. You have three sections: the Followers section, the Unopened Chest section, and the Training Orders section. Each of these will be detailed, and I'll give you some tips or general know-how that you should know for navigating these. Let's start with your followers. This is where every follower that you've recruited during online sieges or vendettas is stored, as well as any followers that you obtained from chests or challenges. You can also send followers to this section on the army screen by using a redeployment training order. Here, you can destroy your follower for their gear, you can deploy them to a specific region, or you can check their details. Of course, they'll all be listed and categorized by their rarity, from common, epic, and legendary. It's good to know that the follower level will pass over between each region. But if you are a lower level than the follower you've recruited, say from a previous save, that follower will be matched to your level. So if I were level 40, this follower is level 80, and I deployed him while I'm level 40, he would be brought down to level 40 so that I could actually have him as a follower. Of course, this is a great way to get legendary gear without risking your followers coming back from the dead. Or it's just a great way to move your followers between regions. For example, if I wanted this follower to go to a specific region, I simply have to press deploy and I can choose the region. As simple as that. You can also destroy your followers for their gears, like so. Making it a great way to farm legendary followers and kill them without any risk of them being brought back or cheating death. Since it's a completely separate menu, they are not deployed and have no influence over your game. Next, let's go to the unopened chest section. This is where your chests from the vendettas, sieges, or DLCs will be once you obtain them. Of course, you can open them and they'll give you the rewards. Pretty straightforward, and you can keep opening them by pressing one button. It'll do it automatically, this is great for getting all your gear fast. Should you kind of go on a binge of raiding or doing vendettas, you'll just get a ton of gear without much effort from these chests. Now let's move on to the most important feature of the garrison, the training orders, and probably what you'll be using the most. I'll go in detail with each of these and explain them so that you know and have a general idea of what each of them does. First, we have the reassignment orders, which is what I refer to redeployment orders. This will send your follower to the garrison, where you can deploy him or destroy him for his gear. Costs 1000 Mirian. Then we have war training, which raises a follower's level by 5. So instead of doing nemesis missions, you can just give your follower war training. This is great for when you want to really level up a follower fast without exposing him to too much danger or just wasting too much time. There's also battle training, which is the same thing, but instead of 5 levels, it only raises 1 level. It's good to know that if your follower needs 4 levels to get to the current max, let's say your level, then you would need to buy 4 battle training orders instead of war training, since it does not allow you to just buy the 5 levels and increase it. Basically, if you need, if you're 2 levels short, you can only buy battle training. That's how you raise your orc's level. After that, we have mount training, which grants the follower that a mount. It's basically a category. Now, some of these do remove other traits, but I'll get into that later. This, for now, just gives your follower a mount. Pretty straightforward. These next ones are also pretty straightforward. Grants your follower a fire weapon, so you can change the elemental damage that your follower does. It'll just give them fire weapons. Same for the poison weapons, and same for cursed weapons. It's good to note that you can change these out. For example, if your follower has a poison weapon and you would like him to have fire, you can just apply this and he'll get it and switch out the poison. Now let's move on to recruitments. Olog recruitment will give you 2 Ologs that will basically follow your captain around. Savage Gang works more as a small group of savages that work as shock troopers. And if these are really great if your follower is a commander, because although most commanders I believe already have gangs, but if they don't, then it's a very great way to give that follower a bit of an advantage in terms of larger battles. Then we have the Defender Gang. It's a group of shield bearers. Hunter Gang, just a bunch of spear launch throwers. And Archer Gang, which will just same as Hunter Gang, but just with crossbows. And warriors are just regular grunt orcs. Nothing special about them. That's it for the common or regular orders. Now let's move on to the advanced. So, first we have legendary training. This will make your follower legendary. It will give them 2 epic perks if they have none. It'll give them 1 more epic perk if they are already epic, which means they have 1 perk. And it will change your follower's perks should he already have epic. Basically, this means that you can make a follower legendary, they will drop legendary gear, and they will have legendary perks. Completely random, of course. Then you have the epic training champion. It gives them a champion trait, making them epic. Pretty straightforward. It'll make your orc epic, unless they're already epic, then it'll just change the perk, I believe. So these next ones are the champion traits, basically, that you want to give to your followers. For example, if you'd like your follower to have a direct Caragor, this is how you do it. Note that when you use these orders, it'll change one of the follower's perks. So if your follower is a legendary captain, then changing one of these, giving him elite recruitment, if he doesn't have it, it'll switch out one of the perks he already has. I believe it is the second perk from the kind of list view. You'll have a first and a second perk. I believe it's the second perk that will be switched out. So, Elite Gang basically inherits some of the follower's traits like immunities or elemental damage, stuff like that. Great strength makes them deal more damage. This is very good against players and other orcs. It's always great to have a follower of one of these. Then you have the thick skinned, which basically doubles their health. So they become very annoying for players and they last a lot longer in the fight pits. These next ones are the mastery training orders. They'll just increase the damage of elemental attacks dealt by the orc, and I think it reduces the damage dealt by that element unless they're already immune. So, but this just states it just boosts the elemental damage for him and his allies. Same for poison, same for curse. But yeah, of course, yeah. So resist, I was wrong about that. Resistance is actually a separate perk. So resistance to fire, poison, and curse. It'll just reduce the amount of damage each of these deals, but it won't make them immune. So let's say you have a pretty strong follower that has a lot of immunities, but is missing a curse immunity. Or let's just do a more practical one. Let's just say he's um, vulnerable to poison, right? He takes a lot of damage from poison. You can give him this, and it'll reduce the damage dealt to him by it. Then you have Mighty Ologs, which increases the effectiveness of nearby Ologs. I'm assuming it just makes them a bit harder to kill. Like they deal a bit more damage, they have a bit more health with a bit more resistant, and they just attack a bit faster. I haven't tested this out though, so I don't really know what it does specifically. Then we have the same for everybody else. So I'm assuming it's just that it like makes them slightly stronger overall. You have the warriors, the archers, the hunters, the defenders, the savages, the whole shebang. It's good to note that you can get these training orders by completing sieges and leveling up the online kind of experience bar, progress bar. You get spoils of war. These spoils of war points give you spoils of war chests, which will contain these training orders. You can see the amount of training orders under each of the little icons, or if you don't have any, you can buy them with Mirian. Feel free to check out my Mirian farming guide so that you know how to get the most amount of Mirian and get the most of these training orders. It's important to note, legendary training orders cost a whopping 20,000 Mirian, so you definitely want to have a lot of Mirian if you plan on making a bunch of legendary followers, whether it be to this. And that is how Shadow War's Garrison works, where you can upgrade and move your followers in order to expand your influence and conquer Mordor. I hope you found this guide useful and that you have been able to strengthen your army a little bit more. Oh, I almost forgot. We reached 500 subscribers recently, so as promised, we now have a Discord server. The link will be down in the description. Feel free to join to hang out and talk with me, as well as some of the other people that might show up on the channel. I also plan to start streaming soon, so be sure to hit that bell and check the announcement tabs in the Discord. Have a good one, and bye.